wartime. And he went there because his brother Lawrence was sick and thought that the conditions there would help him improve. I don't think it helped much, but worst of all, George Washington got smallpox. But guess what? He also got cured of smallpox. So when he returned to the United States, and in the war, when all of his soldiers were dying of smallpox, he was immune. So the logic of this story is that maybe this country would have been a lot different had George Washington not gone to Barbados. The other quick thing is that you may or may not know that in the Carolinas, and we do have some posters around here that talk about it, but Barbados, back in about 1700, was a very wealthy place, and land was very expensive, and it was very famous because of sugar, which of course is where you get to rum. But after a while, there was no more land, and the land was very expensive, so many Barbadian planters left Barbados and went to the Carolinas. And they actually created what is Charlestown, with T-O-W-N-E spelled at that time. But for information, of the first 20 governors of the Carolinas, 9 came from Barbados. So those are just odd thoughts about Barbados-US relations.
To work with things to do. Every time people come here, I see old faces, I meet new faces, I meet new Barbadians. I don't know why the Barbadians don't come to the embassy more often. This is your home. We welcome you all. Please come. That's great. Everyone sign up for that. If you want to go to Barbados beforehand, though, it's a short skip, hop, and a jump. There's just 4.5 hours from New York, 3.5 hours from Miami. There's more than one flight from each of those cities every day. So you just have to go from Washington there, and by 1 o'clock you're in Barbados, or maybe by 9:30. In any case, you get the beach or you get St. Lawrence Gap, you get a good time. So please come and visit.
So what I want to do is to say, before we go into the cups for sampling, just a few little facts and factoids about rum, and how do you distinguish a really good rum, which you can. Rum, which is the alcohol derived from the sugarcane, is just like any other alcohol if you break it down chemically. There are 3 ways to make alcohol naturally, and we all love them. The first one, of course, is fermenting. That gives you wine. The second, when mankind got fire, was boiling, brewing, which gave you ale and beers. And the third was a little more difficult to establish. That was distilling. And the reason is because you needed a beaker to do that. Barbadians love to say that they discovered rum. Unfortunately, Marco Polo in the 13th century described sugarcane alcohol in China, where he said it was actually quite palatable. And we know that the Chinese invented the beaker more than 9,000 years ago. So they have been making sugarcane alcohol for a little longer than we have been around in the Americas, dominating the people. In fact, longer than most societies in the Americas have been. Rum comes from the sugarcane. I said that before. The sugarcane was domesticated in Indonesia, way back, and traveled through China and India before it came to the Mediterranean and the New World. Rum was actually discovered in the 13th century, in the Levantine Mediterranean, by the Crusaders, the French Crusaders, which is why it gets the name rum. It's the French rum, and it's a boiling, steaming. So rheumatic, anything in French that's room. All right.
walk around those days. Everybody is just dancing. Word. Word.
You got that naturally how to get that sweet.
Word. Word.
Put a cent in your left pocket, 5 cents in your right side, 10 cents in your back pocket. Save the outer side.
When I say, let's get ready to do it. Let's get ready. We go to the left. We're looking good. All right, we go faster, faster now. All right, here we go. Spot change, give it. Big money,